All right, welcome back. Let's turn to that issue now, the Optus cyber attack. The company's told customers that photo ID, date of birth information, home address, email and passport numbers have all been accessed. And as technology expert Trevor Long explained to my Sky colleagues this morning,
with that information, someone also almost has the 100 points of ID to be able to apply for credit on your behalf. So apply for a credit card, maybe even apply for a loan, and that is going to impact your credit rating in the long term.
That's the real worry. It's the identity theft from here on in. And breaking news earlier today, one of the hackers, or the hacker, we still don't know more detail than that, has reportedly apologised and said that all the information stolen from customers has now been deleted. But still, people tonight are reporting ransom emails. So is this the end of it, or is the risk still out there? Joining me now from Canberra, former Home Affairs Minister in the Morrison government, now Shadow Minister, Karen Andrews. Karen, thank you for your time. Let's go to this apology and the information we've had that the data has been deleted. I make the point, we've still got customers this evening reporting getting ransom emails. This is a continuing issue, and I suppose once the details are on the dark web, there's not much you can do about it.
That's exactly right, Peter. So I remain sceptical about what is now being put through as the potential hackers have deleted information. I do remain very, very sceptical about that. In any event, we do know that data was available on the dark web. That potentially has been sold. We don't know whether or not the hacker has actually deleted the information, whether they've already sold it, whether they're keeping it for a later date. Those remain unknowns for us. But as you've rightly said, people are starting to get text messages seeking directly from them a ransom. So that data is already out there and is being used, whether it's being used by the original hacker or whether it's being used by someone else, it is still being used. And the consumers are going to have to deal with these issues for weeks, months and years.
So two questions come to mind now. I mean, what can the government do? What can Optus be pushed to do about this immediate breach and the information out there? And how do we, we'll never stop it happening again, but how do we make it tougher for these sorts of attacks to occur in the future?
Well, I think that the government and the Home Affairs Minister in particular has made a number of missteps already. I believe they should have been out much earlier than they were, providing a level of support to consumers, customers, Australians who have potentially had their data stolen and being sold on the dark web. Now, in government, we funded an organisation by the name of ID Care, so that if people had their information stolen online, they can contact ID Care and get support about what they needed to do to best protect themselves. There's not been any mention of that made, to my knowledge, by the government or the minister responsible. So that's one thing that they should have come out early and directed people if they want additional support to go to ID Care, or if they wanted to fund another organisation, then they should have stepped up and do that. I think government had a role to provide a level of confidence to the Australian community that they were on their side and that they were going to be supporting them. So that didn't happen. I actually had a discussion with Optus on Sunday, and part of that discussion went to credit issues, and a discussion was had on Sunday about the fact that Optus was already well advanced in discussions with credit providers to have a look at what they could do so that there was going to be support. And of course, we had the Home Affairs Minister stand up in question time and demand that Optus do that. Well, Optus was already doing that. And look, and I'm not here to defend Optus because they have some serious questions to answer. But the government seriously has not done what it needs to do here. Now, Senator James Paterson, in question time in the Senate today, asked the question about whether or not people who had their passport details hacked as part of this particular event, whether the government would provide replacement passports for them free of charge. That question was taken on notice now. So I think we need to keep prosecuting that, because it is much better for the government to spend the money now to support these people rather than to have to deal with the consequences later when their identity has been stolen. And these people are in an absolute world of pain. So it's passports, issue a new Medicare card. Some of the states, I believe Queensland has already taken some action in relation to driver's licences. Work's been done in New South Wales. There's proactive things that governments can and should be doing.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, that's a comprehensive response from you, Karen Andrews. You can see why you are a minister as good as you were. Thank you for your time. Karen Andrews, their Shadow Home Affairs Minister, was the Home Affairs Minister in the Morrison government. I did ask Claire O'Neill, the current Labor Home Affairs Minister, on the show. She declined. Hopefully we'll get to her this week.